Welcome to Cuddlebuggery. This is Buzz, the Buzz, with Kat Kennedy and my beautiful co-blogger, Stephanie Sinclair. We have been bringing young adult industry news and blogger news to our blog for about 2 years now, and we thought it was time to come to YouTube and show you all our beautiful faces, especially Steph's. Oh my God, Steph.
You know, she's only saying that because she's trying to get in my pants. You know, that's the truth, really.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I am always trying to seduce Steph, but she is so seducible.
I can't help my charm, Kat. I can't help my charm. But yeah, it's really great to finally be, you know, visual to our readers. And, you know, realistically, the reasoning behind this is because we've just become way too lazy to write. And we're taking shortcuts in life, as one does.
We were hoping this is a shortcut. I'm not sure if it's going to be that way. But anyway, moving on to our first story. Out of the UK this week, a gentleman by the name of Andy Brown started a website for the Ministry of Magic. Now, he actually based this on a UK government website, which was very successful in the UK. He was part of the team that worked on that. So that's what makes this site really magical. It's the Ministry of Magic. They got stories about an escaped dragon from Gringotts. You know, they got stories about Arthur Weasley with a promotion. They've got, you know, all the typography is the same. It is an ultimate trip down nostalgia lane for anybody who wants to just bask in the Harry Potterness.
And we're going to give this guy a Klondike bar because clearly he deserves it for creating this and giving us something else to just live in the world of Harry Potter. And Dos Puntos for creating it right after the UK Gov site. That is just genius. It's legit. It has the Gov.
He has done a really beautiful job with it. And, you know, props for keeping the magic alive, dude, for keeping Harry Potter world alive in our hearts. Even though sometimes being a Harry Potter fan can get a little bit pricey.
And speaking of pricey, how about the new DVD set that they've released? That is not as pricey as the last one, which was $500, but now it's $174. Still probably not going to purchase it myself. But it does feature a lot more footage with, was it 31 discs of Harry Potterness?
Yeah, I think we have to fact check that. I think I may have written that wrong. But there are at least like 8 discs, and it's got like something like 37 hours of extra footage. And a documentary of behind-the-scenes shootings for the movies. It is actually a bit of a dream, though it's still a bit expensive at $174.99, and I think that's with an Amazon discount. Yeah, not sure.
The lengths people go to really, you know, get their Harry Potter fix will always amaze me, which is why I just cannot see Harry Potter ever ending.
No. But according to a study released this week, it seems that may eventuate sooner than we would like. A library loaning society who tracks kids borrowing in the UK, I think it was, has released a study this week saying that Harry Potter is on the outs, and that rather like Judy Blume, Enid Blyton, and Roald Dahl, she's becoming less popular. Indeed, last year she slipped off the list for the 10 most borrowed children's books of the year. I'm not sure, like, I don't think we need to be in danger yet. You know, Judy Blume didn't have the internet. Enid Blyton didn't have a Ministry of Magic fan site, okay? You know, we've got Pottermore, we got Harry Potter World, we got J.K. Rowling working on a screenplay musical Harry Potter adaptation. I think we're set for a little while yet. I think we're good.
Let's not forget that most Harry Potter fans own at least 2 different versions of the series. We're
Yeah.
not borrowing the books because we already own them, probably 3 times over. Not to
Yeah.
mention, Judy Blume does not have an amusement park. I really
No,
don't know what else to say to that.
you can't go on the internet and find that much fan fiction for Judy Blume's work. If I went on the internet and looked up Harry Potter fan fiction, I could probably stay on the internet for the next 10 to 15 years reading that stuff. It's just, I think we're safe is what I'm saying. Like most parents I can imagine, like I will do in the future, is buy their kids the series. My kids will never borrow Harry Potter from the library. They'll never need to. I'm buying it for them and foisting it upon them, whether they like it or not.
Exactly, because you're an awesome mom, and that's the key here. Because we buy our Harry Potter books, we will never need to borrow them because you don't want to give it back. You want to keep reading it over and over again.
Yeah, you want that copy that you've had for life. But we have to move on to some sadder news that happened in December to a very popular young adult author.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ned Vizzini passed away this December. He committed suicide. He's the author of It's Kind of a Funny Story, Teen Angus Na, and Be More Chill. He was very, he will be very missed by his colleagues and other readers who have been touched by his story. It's just a very unfortunate story to hear of, one so young who has had such a big impact on the community to pass away.
It was definitely really tragic. Yeah, unfortunately, he took his own life. And, we will include a link to a helpline for anybody who's struggling, because I know that hearing these stories is a trigger for a lot of people. And, our thoughts are with the family. And a lot of tributes got paid on Twitter and across the internet from fans and publishing people and authors alike. Obviously there's a big impact left. His book, It's Kind of a Funny Story, was actually adapted into a movie in 2010 with Zach Galifianakis. I pronounced that wrong. Let's just keep going. Moving on, unfortunately that's some sad news. And back onto some more depressing news, because that's, unfortunately.
Of course. I mean, we have to go right into the ultimate discussion that we seem to have at least once a month with book banning, this time with The Color Purple by Alice Walker. And tell us about the complaint, because it's actually pretty funny.
Well, the Kids Right to Read project is an organisation set up in order to help spread information and assist authors who are facing book challenges across the US. They monitor that. They've said that they have about 3 times as many cases as they did last year, and it just keeps growing, and it doesn't seem to be a problem that is at all on the decline. A commissioner in Brooks County, Pat Sykes, actually lodged a complaint against The Color Purple, and I actually went and read her complaint because just, I was feeling, journalistic integrity or something like that.
Of course.
I was just curious. They actually obviously already encounter a lot of people like this. One of the questions is, do you have a child in this school? No, she does not. I can imagine if I was getting that form in, I'd be like, oh, so your opinion means 3/5 a sweet bugger all? Well, let me just file that away and shit I don't care about,
Right. Like, why? Why would you care, though, if your child did not go to the school, but you are actively trying to get this book banned and removed?
Yeah.
Keep up with the other schools in the area of what they're doing besides my child's school. I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, she did. Also, they asked whether she had actually read the book, to which her answer was no. And then when they actually have a part on the form where they ask for clarification of how much or what you read if you didn't read the book. So obviously they do get a lot of these in. So she didn't read the book, and she only read pages. and summary and reviews. So that's what she based her opinion on. Her complaints, the reason, they asked for a reason as well, it was the immorality, the filth, the F word, the
Friendship? Friendship?
Friendship. Is that the F word? Friendship.
Friendship? Oh my god. How dare they use friendship in a book?
I know.
Poor kids.
She goes on to say that you need to be 21 to drink, but we provide porn. And I have to say, I completely agree with her on this. 21 is way too old to drink. That's just...
And if I had a drink, I would drink to that statement.
Yeah, so she teamed up with Marty Cook, who actually was married to somebody on the school board for Brunswick County, but they were so far unsuccessful. Kids Right to Read say that the sooner that they can start their campaign against a book banning or a potential book banning, the more successful they are. Up to 85% of the time, they are successful in repealing that banment. So that's really positive, because otherwise this would be a depressing story.
Especially since she only read pages, and for the record, Spark Notes and the little preview from Amazon.com doesn't count.
No. And, you know, if you're going to go and challenge a book to be banned, then I think the basic rule should be that you are locked in a room with the top 50 most contested books on record and forced to read them all before you can give an opinion on what books need to be banned or even burned.
Exactly, because it doesn't make sense for you to want to remove a book when you haven't legitimately read the words in context. That's key.
Yeah, some other books that are regularly banned, I've seen Eleanor and Park was contested once, and I saw Rainbow Rowell tweet about what a harrowing experience it was for her as an author. Neil Gaiman's book Neverwhere, that was also one that was contested. And also John Green's books, they tend to come up a lot, and I remember when he did a video about looking for Alaska when that got, you know, stirred up some controversy, and that was hilarious, his response there.
I can see why some parents were offended by Eleanor and Park, because I did read that one. I haven't read any of Neil Gaiman's novels, but and I've only read The Fault in Our Stars from John Green. But I mean, a lot of Eleanor and Park's content had to deal with racism, so there was strong language used, but it was important to use that, because in order to show the correct time of the time period, you had to do that. So, I mean, you can't shield children from life.
No. And I think sometimes, you know, the negative example can become a positive example. You know, these are great books. I didn't particularly enjoy Eleanor and Park, and I didn't particularly enjoy Neverwhere either, and I've not read John Green. But, you know, they're still good books. There's still a lot of literary value in them. I just simply don't like it. Eleanor and Park is set in the 80s, and all the mention of having to change batteries in the Walkman, that just made me like, no, never want to remember that time in my life again. Never, no.
But when they did the 8675309, I totally jammed out for a minute, and I'm not going to lie, I had a moment where I was like, you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a bad book. It's just for me as a reader, that just brought up terrible memories. So I was like, no, I can't do this. But if you are a fan of Divergent series, we also have some great news. They released a clip this week showing a scene between Four and Triss, and it was nice. It was nice, wasn't it, Steph?
It was very nice. I approve. Theo taking off his shirt whenever he can. I want to see tattoos always. He should just not wear a shirt. Let's make that a law. Let's do it.
Yeah, totally. He was nice, and I wasn't actually very interested in this movie. I saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, that looks cool. Kate Winslet looks awesome. But, you know, whatevs. And then I saw the clip and I'm like, you know what, I think this movie might be for me. I think it might be my jam. I think it might be my thing.
I think it's all of our jams after we saw that clip of Theo. I mean, whose jam can it not be? No one's. But I was kind of interested in seeing Divergent because I really did enjoy the first book, even though Insurgent was a huge letdown for me and Allegiant was meh. But Divergent does look pretty interesting, and they have a lot of big hitter actors that are starring in the movie. Like you said, Kate Winslet, and I really love her. You know, my heart will go on. But
didn't they already cast the director for the second movie as well?
They did, and the reasoning behind that is that they've already greenlighted Insurgent, which I was surprised because usually they wait to see if the first movie did well. But I guess they're betting right now on the fandom to really come out and support this movie. And since the filming of Insurgent is starting right after Divergent, they had to get another director in. It came down to timing, basically, that the director, I can't remember his name, but he's not going to be able to do Insurgent and finish off Divergent. So I guess we'll see how it works out. I really hope the movie is good. You know, I definitely plan to check it out. We will compare notes on Theo's role.
And Vampire Academy, that comes out soon as well, but not quite as excited to see that as I am to see Divergent, considering the trailers have been a bit skewy from that side.
It was, and I was very disappointed with the first one, but the second one had promise. I mean, it had a lot of great moments, and I laughed 3 times, so now I have to go see the movie. I'm a huge fan of the books. I love Rochelle's sarcasm. Is like she's singing my song. So I'm going to go see this. Oh, my God!
Sorry, guys. For those of you listening to the podcast, I just like to randomly do things to shock Steph. Just if I can break her concentration, that's trolling completed. Random House. Have you got your concentration back, Steph?
I'm sorry. I'm still shocked because what's that, Princess Celestia? She came to pay me a visit.
No, that's Princess Cadence. Get it right.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I got the pony's name wrong. I hope she can forgive me. Random House is doing something awesome this holiday season. They're working with First Book, which is an organization that helps give resources and books to schools that serve low-income families. And what usually happens is they collect donations for the kids and for the schools. And so for every donation, Random House is going to match that 3 times over. So the kids are getting a lot more books this holiday season, and it ends December 31st, which is tomorrow. So donate.
I like. And also, a blogger has gone and lived the dream. Mama's Gone City. She got a book deal after her puppy started sleeping with her 1-year-old. I think he was about 1 at the time.
Wow, that sounded dirty, kid.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. They started sleeping in a bed together.
With their shirt on in clothes.
Shh. Get past my shame. Let's just get past my shame. She got about 200.
Shame finger at you.
Oh my God. Okay. She got about 230,000 Instagram followers after her series of photos started showing up on her Instagram account, and she has gone and got herself a book deal out of it, and from Fuel and Friends as well. We've got the photos. We got some of them linked on our blog, and we'll put the link down. John Green calls it a doobly-doo. He goes, links in the doobly-doo. I don't know what a doobly-doo is.
It's a thingy.
I know what he's referring to, but why a doobly-doo? Because
John Green fashions himself a Shakespeare, and he wants to invent new words for our language. Yeah.
Well, he has 2 or 3 books in the top 5 New York Times bestsellers list on a regular basis. So I'm not going to contest too much what words he makes up.
I guess. I mean, sure. He's a funny guy.
His videos are hilarious. But yeah, we've got the pictures. They are adorable. They freak me out. I hate the idea of kids and pets sleeping together. It really does. It just, oh my God. The photos, I on one hand will be like, cute, and on the other hand, I'll be like, no, stop that, please. Just stop.
Well, Kat, I'm afraid you're going to have to get used to it because I'm firing up my Instagram as we speak, and I'm going to need you to pose with your kitten. Yeah. Because if this is how we're going to get a book deal, I need for us to get out there. 230,000 Instagram followers. That's nothing to shake a stick at, you know?
No, that's impressive.
And you're adorable, and your kitten is adorable, so think of the possibilities.
If I pose with my cat, you have to knit the cute little hats that we have to co-wear while we sleep adorably together, and we need to make an industry out of this. Merchandising, yeah.
I can make this happen. It will be adorbs.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen studies that say that you know, it's okay for allergies for kids and pets to sleep together. Like kids develop less allergies. On the other hand, I've seen other studies that have been like, well, you know, it actually makes it easier for human and dog or cat viruses to transfer over.
Yeah, well, what does the study say about when a dog steps in his own crap and then he jumps on your bed?
Yeah, it does make me really uncomfortable. I do assume the parents keep the dog wormed and defleed and all that, but it just freaks me out.
But you know, I can't look at those photos and think about poop. I mean, I look at those photos and I go, no.
The dog does look very clean. The dog looks clean and very well taken care of. I'll give them that. So
yeah,
it's a cute.
Well, and speaking of John Green, there was an interesting development with the controversy over his the movie poster for The Fault in Our Stars. And I actually really liked the poster when I saw it, even though I didn't notice the tagline at first until I saw the tweets wondering what was up, since it says "One Sick Love Story." And it does seem a little odd at first, considering the kids in the novel are sick. They have terminal cancer, and it's making light of a situation. But John Green went on to defend it, and he said it works for the humor because the main character, she doesn't take her her disease serious. She has a sarcastic personality, and she's always poking fun at it, even though it really makes everyone else feel uncomfortable. So I don't know. At first, I side-eyed it a little bit, but it doesn't bother me as much. But I do find it a little odd, especially if people aren't very familiar with the characters in the book.
Yeah, I actually didn't really have a problem with. If an article hadn't been written about it, I'm not sure I would have considered it a controversy, simply because I find gallows humor hilarious. I'm very inappropriate that way. So, but also in Amazing Things, Shia LaBeouf. Am I finally pronouncing it right, Steph?
He has a weird name. It's cool. I mean, Shia LaBeouf. Shia. Oh.
Anyway, he got in hot water this week for plagiarizing. He plagiarized a graphic novel almost word for word, scene for scene. It was a 2007 novel. Who was the author, Steph?
I don't remember who the author was, but they were not happy, obviously.
Yeah.
They're now
it would be really great if we had that information on hand available to tell our viewers.
Well, we're going to put it in the diddly-doo.
Okay, we'll put it in the link box underneath your video, because that's what it is. But yeah, so he plagiarized it. He was called up on it. He gave a couple of hilarious tweets saying that he owed an explanation to future generations.
Of course he does. And how he was very sorry, and how he regrets it from his heart. And but then later we found out that he plagiarized his apology from Yahoo Answers, and it just made everybody go, I don't know. Of all places, Yahoo Answers, that's not where I would go for an apology. I would go from my heart.
Well, I mean, that does That's really horrible behaviour. But at least he's not drink driving and crashing the car while somebody else's girlfriend is in it. Oh, he did that too.
Darn, he's like, that's like 3 strikes.
But that was, to be honest, that was a while ago. That was like a year or more ago. Book deals. There were a whole bunch of middle grade book deals signed this week, and a few young adult ones that I'm pretty excited. Which is your favourite, Steph?
Well, I'm glad you asked, darling cat.
No accents.
Yes,
No
I'm afraid the time has come for sophisticated Steph to step out, and I've come prepared. I should tell you what my favorite book I'm looking for, and I'm mixing up my accents because I'm trying to, practice on my Australian and then my UK. I caps. No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's how you feel?
That is exactly how.
Back to the deals. I'm really looking forward to this one that it's a middle grade. It's called The Eighth Continent by Matt London, and it's sold to Razorbill, which is Penguin, and it's being tagged as a Despicable Me meets Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Follows a brother and sister working to turn the Great Pacific Garbage Patch into a utopic 8th continent where their family can start afresh and plants and animals can thrive. Okay, so Carmen Sandiego.
Pretty much one of the coolest cartoon characters ever.
And it was like the only thing educational that I would watch as a child that was cool. Because she had that really badass red trench coat, and she was all mysterious, and nobody could catch her. And then you have Despicable Me.
Sesame Street? What about Sesame Street?
Oh, well, yeah.
What about My Little Pony?
Oh, Lamb Chops Play Along.
Lamb Chops, love Lamb Chops. Anyway, back to it.
How did we get there? Minions. I'm thinking about Minions with Despicable Me. So I'm like, Carmen Sandiego as a minion. Whoa, I just blew your mind.
You did just blow my mind. That would be awesome beyond belief. The book I'm most looking forward to, it was signed this week by HarperCollins, Balzer and Bray imprint. It's a young adult novel. It's called Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. The story follows 16-year-old, not so openly gay Simon Spear, whose sexual identity is at risk of being thrust into the spotlight after a private email falls into the wrong hands. It's billed as an updated You've Got Mail starring gay teenage boys with good grammar. Now, 2 reasons this is awesome for me, and one of those is that it contains not 1, but 2 Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie references, Joe versus the Volcano and You've Got Mail. So,
and I have not seen any of these movies.
You're missing out. Joe versus the Volcano is a classic.
Is it?
Classic.
Classic where?
In my head.
Oh, that would explain a lot.
Second reason is teenage gay boys with good grammar. Look, kids, if you want to be sexy in life, let Auntie Kat explain this to you. Nothing is sexier than good grammar. I mean, just not splitting your infinitives, it makes me purr, baby.
Oh my god, I'm so turned on right now. Tell me more.
Baby, if you know your way around an Oxford comma, you don't need nothing else.
Splooge.
Total splooge. Good grammar. Gets me hot.
Oh my god, I feel like this is getting 50 Shades weird.
50 Shades of Wrong.
Yeah, so moving on, there's another one that I'm really excited about, mostly because I'm familiar with the author from a distance. I don't know the person, but I've seen him on the interwebs, and it's more happy.
Oh yeah, elocution, Steph. elocution.
This is why I must put on my accent. Watch me.
Just stop. Just stop. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
I must. I must. Okay, let me begin again. It's more happy than not by Adam Silver. And the reason
I can't even understand what you're saying. How are our listeners and viewers supposed to understand you?
You don't understand my accent? How dare you say that? I can't even with you right now, Kat. I mean, that's so offensive. Oh, hair flip.
So this is it's apparently a YA version of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, based in Brooklyn, where I believe the author grew up.
Yeah, and I've seen, like I said, mostly it's because I'm intrigued by him. I've seen him around the interwebs. He does a lot of authorly things with other authors. Seems like a cool guy, because it does sound like an interesting book that I might read, but yeah.
What's his name?
Adam Silvera. He's a bookseller too at Books of Wonder, that the really famous bookstore in New York, where a lot of authors go to.
No clue. No.
Well, when you come to New York, we will begin your education on these finer things.
Guys, come and listen to The Buzz every week. We are all up on all the young adult news, but I got no clue who this totally famous young adult person is in this totally famous bookstore in New York, so cred. We got
I've
cred.
actually not been to this bookstore, and it's really it's a shame. I mean, I've been to New York a few times, and it's not gone. Whoops.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much all the news we have this week. I think that's a wrap.
That is a wrap, and it was exciting. Well, not really, but I mean, December. I mean, there's only so much you can do because people are out, and the internet sucks because no one's online. Everyone's off doing family things and that thing called real life.
Life.
I don't know what that is. Really.
But you know, the thing is, we make ourselves laugh. Even if we make nobody else laugh, we make ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in with Steph and I for The Buzz, which is our first video broadcast of a weekly post that we have done for a long time now. We do plan on doing this every week. Bear with us. We are still learning how to do all this stuff. What is YouTube? I don't understand about this YouTube thing. I hear it's a nice place where the commenters are really sweet.
She's being sarcastic.
And to those listening to the broadcast, thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, click our links, check the link box that is otherwise called by some people a doobly-doo.
Doodly-doo.
And make sure you tune in next week. Bye.
Bye.